Okay, so I know a lot of new players are intimidated, let's say, by the research tree in Stronghold Kingdoms. There are a lot of researches, and it can take you a couple of years to finish them all without card points or without carefully managing your research queue. For this video, I'm going to be covering just the industry tab, and in subsequent videos, I believe I'll cover military, farming, and education. So basically, when you start off in the game, you will have nothing. Okay, there are a couple of points that are placed into the tree for you, but it will not be enough to really benefit from it. So what do we have here? This is the industry tab. It focuses on production of resources that are related to building things: stone, wood, iron. Stone for building castle, wood for building the buildings inside your village, iron for building weapons, and then we have weapon making in itself also in the industry tab. Now, which researches should you focus on in the early game? Now, when I say the early game, I'm talking about really before the rank of knight, which is 16. I would focus on, in the industry tab, stone quarrying, forestry, tools, and weapon making. Now, during the very early parts of the game, tools can really accelerate your village growth because it reduces the resource costs of buildings in your villages. On the other hand, if you're going for a more militaristic approach to the game, you might want to put off researching tools for a while, so it'll depend on your play style. Now, forestry and stone quarrying, again, both, if you're looking for if you're going to become an economic powerhouse in the game, those are both good technologies, but they should also be combined with some other trees, which I'll discuss later. So don't just focus too much on them, but they are both good to invest in, both stone quarrying and forestry. And I covered tools. Pitch extraction, research it one level. When you have access to it, it's good, so you can build pitch rigs and use pitch in your castles, but until much later in the don't bother with the rest of it until you hit Prince, or level 22, I believe it is. Anytime before that, you're just wasting your research points, and the same goes for iron mining. Anytime before the Prince or Crown Prince rank is not really advisable. Banqueting, I would definitely check out. Research so you have access to all the different food types. That includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This will give you access to using those food types. So in other words, if you scavenge these food types or these banquet good types off of the village, not off of the world map, you can use them in your villages to host banquets. You don't just have to sell them. If you want to produce banquet goods in your villages, you have to research these individual technologies. Hunting will unlock the hunter's hut, level 1, and the same goes for these other. Carpentry, level 1, unlocks the carpenter's hut, and right on up the line. Now, for the rest of these are the very last thing I research. The banqueting goods, just research 1 point in all of them, right on up the line, but do not research any more until you've researched everything else. Not just the industry tree, every tree. These are the weakest researches in the game, and I cannot emphasize that strongly enough. Do not waste research points on these past level 1. Then we move on to weapon making. Now, these all the first level of weapon making will unlock these branches down here, but now researching level making all the way up to level 8 increases the productivity of all weapons by 50%. Then you get into the more specific branches, such as fletching, armor working, pole turning, siege mechanics, and so on. Now these, on the first level, they unlock the village building, so you can build those weapons in your villages, and subsequent levels will increase the production rate of those weapons, and only those weapons, unlike weapon making tree, which increases it for all weapons. Now, until level 16, I was saying this is sort of early game, I feel. The first 6 months or so. Yeah, you could go in for fletching. Bows are always needed, so you could max that tree out, and that would be a good thing. Armor working, probably, and so is pole turning. Blacksmithing, not so much. Swordsmen aren't all that used, and definitely max out siege mechanics, because catapults in the early game are something that's rare to come by. They're expensive. There just aren't many in markets, and other players are really feeling the demand for them to bust open castles. So that's also another one you should completely research it. So I believe I've covered the entire research tree. Now, as you can see, I have researched all of the technologies in this subset of the tree, and it took me a couple years to do so because I didn't use any cards, and I was quite lazy in how I managed my queue. So I hope this was informative, and stay tuned for the next video on research in Stronghold Kingdoms.
Stronghold Kingdoms. The battle has just begun.